What is up, everybody? Welcome back to the Sneaker Circle. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for checking me out. Now, in today's video, we are going to cover the newer Undefeated Dunk Low that just, honestly, these released at the beginning of the month. Undefeated just takes so long to ship their stuff out, and I have mixed feelings about that. And I'm going to get straight into like with the review, with everything, and I'll even compare them to the first pair. I still have them on hand, so let's just get straight into this. Super nice box, just like the first one. And honestly, this was one of the first Undefeated Dunks that leaked, and probably one of the most anticipated. So I'm kind of surprised with where they're sitting at in terms of the secondary market. Like, it's weird. I'm not shocked, but I'm a little surprised that these aren't a little more popular than the first pair. Now let me finish getting these out of the box. Here, enjoy the show. So before I put the box away completely, here's a little look at it. Dunk versus Air Force One, which is this whole collective that they're doing. There's a size tag. These retailed $120, so $20 more than normal Dunks. So expect quality just to be a bit better when it comes to these releases. Now, if you did really watch my first one, the canteen video, the first Dunk that they released, you know that I'm in favor of these Undefeated Dunk Lows. Like, the quality on these are better than like I ever wanted them to be, if that makes sense. For reference, Fragment gave us a pair of Dunk Highs, these right here, and they're gonna give us another one leaked over here if I can find photos of that. So we're gonna get another Fragment collection. Those retailed as high tops for $150, and the leather wasn't out of this world. Like, it's cool, it's a little bit better, but once worn, once creased, you definitely have that like plastic leather effect that a lot of people aren't a fan of. I don't think that's the case with these. And the cool thing about these is that it's not just leather. Leather's only really on the toe box. There's essentially 5 different materials on it. That's why they're dubbed the 5 on it. So like, if you don't know, it's such an OG lyric that it goes so perfectly with Undefeated, you know? So before I break it down into materials, here's a quick little look around. That toe box, nice. Now these do fit exactly like every other Dunk. So if you've had the pleasure of owning a Dunk before, or at least these 2020 Dunks, don't worry, fits exactly the same. These are essentially like 20-40 bucks over retail. So this is another release that if you want these, you can definitely just go out and get them, you know? So let's take a look at the left shoe, and I'm gonna go specifically into which materials are used on this shoe. So these did release with an Air Force One alongside with these, with the same concept 5 on it. The idea is that there's 5 different materials on this shoe, or the build of the shoe at least. And let's just start, like, I guess the most obvious is gonna be this blue leather toe box right here. It is a nice leather. It's not like the leather you see on your normal Dunks, and I guess since there's so little of it, they could afford to like go a little extra on it. So you have leather on the tongue, and it goes, I mean, you have leather on the tongue right here and the toe box, and it's just all one singular unit. Let me get as close as I can to show you that. The blue on these is definitely wild. If you don't have anything like this in your collection and you're not afraid to wear like bright colors, like, this is perfect, I'm telling you. So in this release, they're also counting snake print as its additional material as well, which makes sense. Snake print is an iconic just print textile to use for almost anything. The snake print on here reaches up to the eyelets right here. It's all throughout the front mudguard. It's nice. It doesn't have the sensation of leather, but it doesn't have the sensation of like nubuck or suede or anything like that. It's still soft, but it has a little bit more like resistance to it because of the pattern that's engraved in it. That's super nice to have, super nice to just, super reliable on feet, must I say. Now the purple mid panel right here, it's like a polyester. I'll try to get as much into the light as I can, but it doesn't scream like great quality when I think of this material. It's well done. I actually, now that I think about it, now that I'm like looking at it and touching it, I think it's closer to like a canvas. So if you know the sensation of canvas, that's what it is. It's gonna be a great build for the shoe. I actually prefer a little bit over like if this was a purple leather, I feel like it'd be too like off striking, you know, because the blue leather itself it just doesn't have that natural feel to it, that natural like look. I know it's a weird thing to say, but I'm glad that they chose canvas, because the canvas on the purple just makes it a little more subtle than it needs to be, you know? The fourth material is going to be the suede on the swoosh. It's on both sides. Followed by a nubuck on the back and the heel. The engraved Undefeated logo right here and on the tongue. And let me give you a quick look at the nubuck. Now the nubuck isn't the softest in the world. Like it feels nice. I must admit it feels nice, but I've definitely felt softer nubuck. This can almost pass as since it's the rougher nubuck, it could also pass. It's like at the very edge of leather. You feel me? So I wouldn't be too weary about staining these or getting these dirty, because I'm pretty sure they're gonna hold up just fine. For reference, I guess just think of nubuck that you would feel like on a pair of Timbs. I feel like that's the best description I can give to this. Like, it's gonna be a durable piece of material if you want to beat these, that is. Now, besides all those materials, you do have these sitting on a purple insole that matches perfectly to that canvas, which is why I'm saying if this would have been a leather, it would have just been off, just slightly off. You do get almost like an aged sole, but I don't know, seeing these in person, I kind of wish they were a little bit lighter, especially when you see the actual laces that come along with it. You do have these yellow laces that go with the yellow sole, but I'm in the camp that I wish they were just maybe a tone lighter, maybe a tone closer to sail. Let me show you what I mean. I'm on the camp that instead of going full yellow, they could have just gone sail, made it just a little more. I guess it would have been too close to the swoosh, and that's something they might have wanted to avoid. But the swoosh to me isn't really white either. It's just gray. It's a gray. So having these white laces right here, they don't make too much sense, because the only thing you're gonna match is the Undefeated logo on the side and the tongue, and I don't really like that. This is closer to a gray than a pure white, you know. But this is what I would have liked to see, this aged sole right here, this sail sole, not too deep. I feel like they just went too deep on this. So if we're talking about availability, these did release on Undefeated at the beginning of the month, and recently, a week ago, maybe a week and a half ago, we did see them on sneakers along with the Air Force Ones. Now, I do have my gripes with Undefeated because they took so goddamn long to send these, and that was the case for the first ones. Let me actually bring the first pair out and we'll just have them side by side. So here we have the current releases for the Undefeated Dunk Lows. Now, I talked really highly of these in my initial review. I don't know, the quality on these is stiff leather, and this not being as plastic as I thought, being canvas, just really set these off for me. I'm still not a fan of this green yellow looking thing right here. And I know a lot of people are like, yo, what are you talking about, Shrek? It's the Shrek green, bro. It's all I see. And having them side by side with these right here, let me grab the right shoe. So having these side by side, the details are pretty spot on. I'm telling you, the materials are there. For $120, you can't go wrong. Resale on these is still touching 200s. They slowly went up and then started going back down. These, last time I saw, were the 180s. I guess the color is just too striking for most people, and just that delivery time. These took almost 3 weeks to deliver. This took almost 3 weeks to deliver. There's one more Undefeated Dunk on the way. It's that black pair and that that weird Lakers looking Air Force One. Now, I haven't been able to touch any of the Air Force Ones because I just don't have that much money to buy a pair of shoes and just have them sit, because I work from home. I can't even wear these realistically. So my priority were the Dunks because they're the ones I had my eyes on the most. But the Air Forces that came out with these, actually both the Air Forces that came out with these, the stronger Air Forces were this pack. These were still beautiful in my eyes. They were still beautiful. Same materials as these, so spot on. And this third pack that's coming out, I really don't like those Air Forces that much, and I'm split. So I like the black Dunks, I really do like them, but one swoosh has ostrich leather, one of my favorite materials almost ever, and the other one has fur, fox fur, the fake fur. But that's one of my most hated materials on a pair of shoes. I'm glad these didn't stick with that, or these, because then they wouldn't be here right now. I wouldn't even have considered them. So that's really gonna keep me off. I don't think I'm gonna complete this pack just because of that. I really just don't like that detail. But the suede on those Dunks looks incredible. We'll see, only time will tell. I don't really wanna buy another pair of Undefeateds, and them take a month just to ship them out to me. Even if it is for the sake of the collection, because at the end, if I decide not to keep these, they are trade bait and the potential feature. I don't mind holding on to things, but I do feel like this is a nice shoe to break out. Like, I'm saying it's like a perfect rainy weather shoe. These not so much, these stand out too much, but these are that perfect throw on and go. So these actually might get unds soon. I'm not 100% sure. I'm gonna see you guys in the next video. Hopefully this helped for the people that were like iffy about this. And I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.